Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Are you looking for a way to make your dollar stretch, stretch, stretch? Stay tuned. Welcome everyone to my channel. I am so glad and so appreciative that you are choosing to spend a portion of your day with me. And for those of you who have bought me a coffee, or those of you who are members of my monthly members club, thank you so much for helping me to keep this channel running. And I really appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you. So in front of me, I have three really cute, nice size bags that we can make. Now, if I told you that it cost me under $1 to make any one of these bags, wouldn't you find that impressive? I know that I would, but I hope to blow your mind with this little secret, because it is going to cost me under $1 to make not one, not two, but all three of these bags. And these are not teeny tiny bags. These are nice sized bags. So if you're planning any type of an event, or you want to make some bags that are fully customizable to your event, and they all have that same upscale pattern look to them, I am going to show you how we do this. So go get your $1, because you know what time it is. It's time to make it. All right, y'all, so here is a closer look at the three fabulous bags we're going to be making. And I'm going to show you how to make these bags for pennies. So if you're planning an event and you want all of your favor bags to completely match, this is how you do it for pennies on the dollar. So the first bag is 8 by 4, and it's 2 inches deep. And then we have the mini purse, and this one measures 6 by 4 by 2. I am not adding any decorations or embellishments to any of these because I really want to show you the process of making your bags on the cheap. And when you open, you have a nice expandable purse. And then we have our tall boy, which measures 7 1/4 by 2 by 4. And we're also closing it with Velcro. And again, we have that nice flexible opening, meaning you can get lots of goodies in these bags. Now, I'm not focused on the directional print of my paper. What I'm focused on more today is showing you how to take what we ordinarily would use for one purpose only and turning that into something that we can use to get a cohesive look at any event that we might be planning. And so here is how we're going to make this magic happen. I am using some 12 by 12 paper that I got from a Michael's Hot Buy pad. And I bought my pads when the solid colors were $5 a piece. You get 48 sheets in the solid color. So each page in that book cost me about 11 cents per sheet to use. Then I'm using my spray adhesive and the amount of spray adhesive that I'll be using from this can. That was originally $8.99. I got it at Hobby Lobby 50% off. So that makes it about $4.50. This goes a very long way. So I am estimating that between this adhesive and my glue, I am using about 30 cents worth of adhesive on all three bags because it doesn't take much. And this goes a very long way. And then the way that we're going to make the magic happen, we're going to use wrapping paper. And I have this humongous roll of Christmas wrapping paper that I got from Hobby Lobby last year. At the end of the season, I got my roll for 90% off of $8.99. And this roll is 36 inches wide, and it has approximately 65 feet of paper on it. So what that means is I can take my three 12 by 12 sheets and I can place it 1, 2, and then another one at the end for 3, because there's actually about 38 inches on here instead of 36. So I have a little bit of buffer, which means that I can get 3 lined all the way across. And so guys, what that really means is I have 65 feet on this roll, which means that if I wanted to take 195 of these 12 by 12 sheets, I could do that and make them all look the same because I would be able to get them all on this roll of wrapping paper. So let's just imagine I got my roll at 50% off instead of the 90% off. That means that it was $8.99, so I'm going to pay about $4.50 for this whole roll if I didn't get that huge discount. So that means that the $4 divided by the 195 sheets that I could cut out of here would cost me close to 2 cents per sheet. But because I did get mine for 90% off, I am paying fractions of a penny per sheet. So this is how we're able to take our wrapping papers or the rolled papers that you can find if you can find them very inexpensively. We're able to take those, take this thin material and turn it into a workable 12 by 12. All right, y'all, so let's go ahead and make our custom paper. Then we'll make our bags. So the first thing that I'm going to need to do is I have to go outside and I need to spray these 3 sheets. I can only spray them one at a time because when I spray it, I need to place that one down so that I don't lose any of the tackiness. So I'm going to go ahead and spray these, place them down, and then I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I'm back and I have placed down my 3 pieces of 12 by 12. And you can see that I did have a little bit left over at the end. I am going to go ahead and just take my finger blade and remove this excess, so I can get this big roll out of the way. All right, so I've trimmed it from the roll. Now you can see that I have 3 pieces of 12 by 12 on my Christmas paper. I'm going to flip this over just to make sure that I have a nice stick. And again, when you're using any type of a spray adhesive, please make sure that you do it outdoors because inhaling those fumes can be toxic. Those of you who have a Xyron Creatopia, if you want, you can use your Creatopia to place the adhesive on the back of your 12 by 12. But if you're trying to make this for pennies on the dollar, I would use the spray adhesive for this particular project because a little goes a long way. So I am just going to trim away the excess wrapping paper from these pieces so that we can have our 12 by 12 pieces for our project. And so there we have one sheet of custom 12 by 12 decorative paper. Now, what we're able to do with that wrapping paper really is amazing because you would never be able to take the wrapping paper in its state and turn it into a nice sturdy bag or box. But when we take that thin wrapping paper and we add a piece of colored cardstock to it, or even white cardstock, we make it a flexible piece that we can now use in our projects. I am going to go ahead, cut out these other 2, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so I have trimmed away the excess wrapping paper from all 3 of my sheets, and you can see that we have 3 12 by 12 pieces that we're now able to work with. We're also going to need 3 1.5 by 12 inch strips, and you can use scrap for this to make your handles. So basically, to make this project, you need some wrapping paper, 3 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock, and 3 pieces of 1.5 by 12 scrap for the handles, and I'll be using some Velcro dots. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my handles because I like to let my glue set and harden just a little bit before I try to shape the handle on my bag. So on my 1.5 inch side, I'm going to score at 3/8 of an inch. Then I'll rotate it to the opposite 1.5 inch side and score at 1/2 inch. And then I'll fold and burnish these scores. I have already done my other 2 handles, so I only need to do this one with you guys so you'll see what I'm doing. Then I'll just take my glue, place some glue, and get that stuck. And then I'll take my glue and place glue on that other side. Fold it over and get it stuck. Then I'll take this and I am just going to use the flat edge of this foam folder. It's doing two things. It's actually spreading out that glue, but it's helping me to create that curve that I want. So I want to start with a curve when I put the handle down so that I don't have to try to force it to curve. All right, y'all, so the first bag that we're going to make is going to be this one. We're going to take our 12 by 12 inch piece. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 5. Then we're going to rotate it to the opposite 12 by 12 inch piece, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 5. Then we're going to turn it to the unscored 12 inch side, score at 2, rotate it to the opposite unscored 12 inch side, and score at 2. So now we can fold and burnish all of our scores. And these red scores I'm going to fold backwards because I want that red border. And as you guys can see, I am not concerned at all with the direction of my pattern on the back. Now, if you're concerned about the direction of your print, you can select a paper where the print direction doesn't matter at all. For me, it says Christmas on this side, but it'll be upside down on this side, and I am okay with that. So now that I have my scores, I am going to take my finger blade and we're going to go right here in the middle where we would have this fold, and we're going to go up to the score mark and drag straight down. And then I can angle. I'll angle here, and then I'll come to the other side and do the same thing. And then one other thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and reduce that just a little bit. And then on the back side where it's upside down, I am going to remove this rectangle in the corner altogether. And I'll do the same thing here. So I have removed that all together. And so then what I want to do on this end as well, where I remove that all together, is I am simply going to reduce this flap because I don't want a lot of bulk when I try to pinch in the sides of my bag. So at this point, your project piece should look like this. And now I'll just go ahead and notch out a V because I'll be using this to fold over inside my box. And I'll do the same thing right here. So this is how your piece should look. Now we're ready to put it together. So I am going to take these two narrow flaps and fold them over and glue them down first. Or you can tape them down, whichever one is going to work for you. So I'm going to fold that over. And I'll do the same thing here. And now my piece looks like this. Now we're going to put the rest of it together. So I am going to take this piece and this piece. This is where we place our glue, and I'm going to place glue all over this piece. Then I'll place my glue all over this piece. Now I can take this piece, and I'm going to use this red section here and bring it up to that piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring up this piece so that I can do it all in one step. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm matching top to top. So I want to make sure that I can take this piece and fold it over. So if you go ahead and do it like that, then you can go back and go on the inside with your spatula, your bone folder, ruler, whatever it is you want to use to smooth it out. Then if you notice that you have any sticking out over the bottom, and I don't on this one, but if you did, you can take your scissors and just go along and snip to clean up. So now I can take my glue, place my glue on this little flap. I'm going to fold that on the inside, and we'll get it stuck. And some of you are going to ask, why didn't I carry the red all the way around? Because I like to break it up and have just a little bit of contrast in the sides versus the front. So now we're going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to take my glue, place my glue on that piece. Then I'm going to place my glue on this glue flap. And all I'll do at this point is basically just fold over. And I'll take this piece, once I get it to bend over the top, then I can start to just bring it in, making sure I have everything nice and straight. I can use my bone folder. I'm going to go on the inside. I'm going to get that nice and stuck. Then I'll take my glue, place my glue right there, put that on the inside, and get it stuck. And now we have a beautiful little Christmas bag that we made using wrapping paper. So I am going to take my fingers now and pinch, and this is why I removed some of that glue flap, because I only want to pinch through one layer and not the two that were doubled. So once I have my pinch the way that I want it, I can just push in on those sides as far as I want. There is my sweet little bag. And so now I'll bring in my Dollar Tree Velcro dots, and I can take that and place it wherever I want, completely up to you. And then I'll peel away that backer sheet, and we'll take this and stick it. And now when I open it, I'll be very careful when I open it, but then I'll go over both of these with my spatula just to make sure I have a nice stick on these. And so now we're going to take our handles. We're going to put them on just like this. So I am going to take my glue, place my glue, take my handles, put them in my bag, and get them nice and stuck. You can use your hot glue gun for this part if you want. Then I'll use my bone folder to go on the inside and get that stuck. And let's go ahead and do the one in the back. Adding my glue. And I'll take this one, put it down, and then I'll just feel the two handles to make sure I don't have one higher than the other one. When I'm happy with how they look, again, I'll go on the inside and we'll get that stuck. And there, y'all, we have easy peasy bag number one that we can now add a tag to or a nice little Christmas embellishment. But when you look at this bag, you know it's screaming Christmas. All right, y'all, so to make our second bag, which looks like a little mini purse, we are going to need our 12 by 12 inch paper, but we're going to cut it down to 12 by 10. So I am going to go ahead and move this over to 10. So we're going to be starting with the piece that is 12 by 10, and we're going to score on the 10-inch side at 2, rotate it to the opposite 10-inch side, and score at 2. And then we'll turn it to the 12-inch side. We're going to score at 4, at 6, at 10, and at 10 5/8. And now we are going to fold and burnish all of our scores. And then once we have all of our scores folded and burnished, again, we are going to take this section right here and we're going to cut the tabs on this portion. So when we open it, we'll go up to that second score mark, drag straight down. Go to the second score mark, drag straight down. Angle in, and then we're going to reduce this piece. On this side, we'll do the same thing. So we're coming to the opposite side. We'll go up to that second score mark, drag down, and then we can angle in, and reduce. So then here at the top, we will have a narrow rectangle here and then a rectangle here. We are going to just free those. We're not going to remove them because I'm going to take these and fold them in, but I didn't want to fold them in as one because when we have that extra bulk, it's a little hard to fold over. I'm going to go ahead and just reduce these. And then I'll angle in just a little bit here and here, here, and here. So now you're able to see what I did. I simply reduced these so that now when I fold them in, they won't be overlapping on the score mark, and it'll just give me a nice finished edge. Then one other thing that I'm going to do that I should have done all together with that is I want to go ahead and reduce this piece on that end as well and make it my glue flap. So that's how it's going to look. I will do it on this end so it'll make sense to you guys. So I'm going to take this whole panel right here and I'm going to reduce it in size. Then I'll go to that score mark and free up that tab and free up this tab. And then I'll angle. So in the end, we're still getting that same look. I just cut all the pieces together at the same time. So now that we have our bag like this, we are ready to put it together. So I am going to bring in my glue, and before I actually put it together, I'm going to go ahead and just glue these little flaps over. And again, like I said, they just give me a finished edge to my flap. You can remove these completely if you don't want to deal with doing this step. So now I have my flap that will fold over. We are going to take this and we're going to do it the same way that we did that first box. So I am going to take my glue, place my glue right there, and then I'll place my glue right here. Then I can bring this up and I'll bring this piece up as well, and we'll do it all at the same time. So I'm just going to bring this piece, get it matched top to top. We're not really concerned about the bottom because we can fix that if we need to. And we get that matched. Then we can go on the inside with our ruler, spatula, or bone folder and get everything nice and stuck. And then we'll do the same thing over here. So I am going to take my glue, place my glue on this piece, then I'll place my glue on the outside of this piece, and all I'm going to do is tuck in, fold over, and then I'll get that top matched. And guys, it really is as simple as what I just showed you. So I'm going on the inside with my bone folder. We're going to get that nice and stuck. Now I can pinch in my sides. And when I fold over, because I have that score right there, that gives me the little purse shape to this. Now what I want to do, because I do have scrap, is I want to go ahead and just run a red strip across the top here. You don't have to do this step, but I do want that red strip. So I cut my piece at 6.5 by 3/4 of an inch, which is going to be a little bit longer than I need it to be, but that's okay because I do want to have just a little bit of overhang so that I can trim off. And I'm using my tape runner. You can use glue on this as well. So now I can take this piece and we're going to put it down right here. And I'll use my scissors to trim away my excess. And so now we have this sweet little front to our bag. So I'll take another one of my glue dots, and I'm going to place that glue dot right there. Peel away the backer. And so I'll just go on the inside and peel that away. Then I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure I have a nice stick on the glue dot. And so now we can close this. We have a sweet little purse that needs a handle. So I have this piece that I'm going to use as my handle. And so this time all I'm going to do is bend about 1 inch back from both ends. Doesn't have to be exact. And we're going to take our handle and we're going to place the handle right there. So I have added some hot glue to my handle, and I'm going to put it down and get it nice and stuck. And how stinking cute is that? That is so sweet. So now we have a nice little gift bag that we can give to someone. And now we're going to make our last bag, which is our tall boy. So here's what we're going to need. We're going to need one of our 12 by 12 inch pieces. We're going to take this 12 by 12 inch piece and we are going to score at 3 7/8, at 5 7/8, at 9 3/4, and at 11 3/4. Then we're going to rotate it to the opposite 12-inch side, and we are going to score at 1 3/4 of an inch, at 9, and at 9 3/4. And then we will fold and burnish our scores, and y'all, we are going to be finished pretty soon with our 3 bags that we are making for under $1. Okay, so once we have our bag folded and burnished, this narrow strip here is the glue flap. So we need to get rid of the pieces on both ends. So we'll have a narrow rectangle here and a long skinny rectangle, and then a rectangle here at the bottom. We need to go ahead and get rid of those. So I am just going to trim those out, and we will get rid of them all together. And then on this end where we have the 2 score marks, we're going to go ahead and go up to that 2nd score mark and drag straight down all the way across. Then we'll rotate it, and here across the bottom we are going to do very slight angles all the way across. So wherever you have a score mark, go ahead and angle, and this will be on the end where you have the single set of panels. All right, so now we're ready to start working to put it together. So here's the glue flap. This will be the back of the box because it will come over and connect to the glue flap. So with this being the back of the box, that means that this will be the flap that will fold over towards the front to close our box. So we're going to take this flap right here, fold it in, and glue or tape it down. And the reason why I'm doing that, it's not a step that you have to do. I just like to do it because it just gives me a little bit more stability to my boxer bag, and I don't have to worry about feeling bad about throwing away some scrap, because I'm basically folding that scrap over and making it a part of my box. And so then all I'm going to do here is trim away on the score mark to get rid of that panel, and I'll do the same thing here. I'll trim away at the first score mark to get rid of that panel, and then I'm just going to angle a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here. And so now your project piece should look like this. So we're actually ready to start putting it together. I am going to take my glue, place my glue on these little tabs here, just fold them in because it's helping to finish off the top of this bag very nicely. Then I am going to bring my scoreboard back in because I did want to add just a 1/2 inch score to that top flap. So I'm going to put the only piece remaining back in the scoreboard and score at 1/2 inch. And so now I can take this, fold it over. I'm going to go ahead and just trim away at an angle just a little bit, so I'll have a nice clean fold. Add my glue and fold this over. Now we can put it together, and the way that we're going to put it together is we are going to add our glue to this glue flap. You can use tape on this. And then I'll take these two pieces, and I'm simply making sure that when I close this, what I'm doing is I have it matched top to top. So by that I mean the score mark that's coming here aligns with this. And then when I have it the way that I want it, I can take my big old spatula or my bone folder and smooth it down. And y'all can see that we have a really sweet little flat fold. And so when you look at this box, guys, you can see that she did it again. Y'all know that I'm an upside down girl. So when I start putting this together, it is going to be upside down. But I am not going to let that stress me because it is about the process of making these boxes, and not so much my little issue with looking at something in an upside down way every now and then. So I am going to take these pieces, add some glue to the side, and fold them in. Then I'll bring that back piece and fold it over, and I'll add some glue to this piece, and then I'll fold it. Then I'm just going to make sure that I have it nice and square, and when I do, I'm just going to rub it to get that glue nice and stuck. Then I'm going to pinch in my sides just like I've done on the other two bags. And now we have a really sweet upside down bag. You guys who have been with me for a while, y'all know that I would not be me if on occasion I wasn't upside down. So when those things happen when you're crafting, don't let it stress you. Just go with the flow. So I am going to take my Velcro dot, put it down, get it nice and stuck. Then I'll peel away, go in, get that stuck, and get that stuck. And then just like on the other one, I want to break that up just a little bit. So I have a piece of scrap I'm using, and it measures 5/8 by 5.5. And I'm just going to add some glue because it happens to be out, but you can use tape. I'm going to take the red in this piece And we're going to put it down. And since it's the same color, I'm just going to fold it over. And so now we have our third gorgeous bag. I need a handle for this one, and then we'll be done. So on this handle, I'm going to be using scrap because I don't want a really long handle on this one. You can see I have just a little loop handle. So I have a piece that measures 7.5 by 1.5, and I'm going to score on the 1.5 inch side at 3/8 of an inch. And then I'll flip it and score at 1/2 inch. I should have done this handle when I was doing the others, but I forgot. But it's no biggie. So I added my glue to my 2 flaps, and I am just going to get that glue nice and stuck. Then I'm going to take my bone folder and just start a curl to this. And I'll take my end and I'm going to fold my ends in about 1/2 inch. And I am just going to add my glue. I'll stand this up and I'll take my little loop and I'll put that loop wherever I want it to be. And I'll use my bone folder, get that nice and stuck. And now we have another super cute bag. And y'all, we have made these 3 bags using wrapping paper and discount 12 by 12 cardstock, which means that we made these 3 bags for under $1. These aren't small little bags. These are substantial sized bags. So any season, any reason, any gender, event planning, and you need a bag, this is perfect for that. Go ahead, find your favorite wrapping paper, print, and make your bags. You can take that whole roll of wrapping paper, even if you paid $10 for the wrapping paper, you can take that whole roll plus some 12 by 12 sheets, and you would be able to make all of your bags for your event for pennies on the bag. So guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this fun, quick and easy way to stretch that dollar. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.